What's Packin Cheese Heads? It's your boy, Godchild, first of his name. And this is the What's Packin Sports Show. Today, we're going to be talking about the players who previously played for Green Bay, like AJ Hawk and Greg Jennings even chimed in. John Kuhn chimed in, and James Jones chimed in on the current Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers situation. And I know some people might be tired of talking about this, but for me, I love the drama and I find it intriguing, and I can't get enough of this shit. So here we go. Let's jump right into it. Last week, like I said, AJ Hawk, John Kuhn, and James Jones all made like public statements about the Rodgers situation with Green Bay. Now, the three of them claim to talk to Rodgers a lot and often, and have claimed to spoken to him about this issue. And the interesting thing about this is like all three of them are basically saying like, "Oh, it's no big." Well, they're not saying it's not a big deal, but they're trying to kind of downplay it and make it seem like it's not as big a deal as it is. And they're trying to say like it's not about the money. He doesn't want the GM fired. There's some other things that are going on that Rodgers has felt like maybe he has been slighted, and he's watched teammates in the past get let go and walk out the door, and they're trying to make it seem like it's about this bigger issue when I feel like it's not really a bigger issue. It's just the issue, and it's not. I mean, unless there's just really some backstory to some argument or something that Packers management had with Rodgers, and maybe some ugly things were said and some like disrespectful things were said. But if it's been all sort of above board and it's just basically about them not contacting him when they decided to draft Jordan Love, I can see how that might rub me the wrong way if I'm the starting quarterback and I'm really expecting my management, my upper management, to bring in players that can help me win now instead of drafting my replacement. But at the end of the day, bro, like this is the NFL. You know, this is how things go. You were brought in a very similar situation. So saying all year, I'm okay with how things have turned out and it's out of my hands now, and I'm I'm okay with that, and I'm at peace, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. And now it's coming out that there's actually an issue behind the scenes, and apparently it's about this Jordan Love thing. Seems hypocritical to me, and it's like Rodgers hasn't been honest to the media and his fans last year. At least that's how it appears to me based on the accounts that we're getting. And the biggest issue that I have with this whole situation is Rodgers hasn't come out and made a public statement himself. And really, if he would just do that, a lot of this would be cleared up, and we could stop with the he say, she said, hearsay, and rumor mill shit, and we could just address the actual topic. In fact, I feel like the best course of action would be for Green Bay, like for Mark Murphy, Gutekunst, and LaFleur, and Rodgers, all four of them, to hold a press conference at Lambeau Field or 1265 Lombardi Avenue, invite all the major media markets there, and just fucking talk about what the issues have been or why this situation occurred and what is happening right now. Just fucking talk about it, bro. Or if you don't want Rodgers there, somebody needs to come out and set the record straight, because right now I feel like all of this mystery is sort of annoying when it seems like easily. I mean, I'm going to talk about it, and I think it's interesting, it's intriguing stuff, but it's also like just like childish. It's like, bro, just speak for yourself. Why do you have ex players coming out and speaking on your behalf, saying, I've spoken with Aaron, it's not about this, it's not about that. No one wants to say what it's actually about, but they're saying what it's not about. And those are the things, and everything they're saying is not about is the stuff that we all hear that it's about. So it's like, Rodgers, stop playing these fucking games, bro. Just come out, speak on the Pat McAfee show. Just control the narrative, dog. Like, you don't have to say, all you have to say is like what's true and what's not true. Just say that. But like, yeah, I've had conversations with Green Bay, and I did tell them I might not return. Like, why is that such a big deal? Like, why is that such a big deal to put on record, bro? Like, if that's how you feel, just come out and say how you feel. Like, especially now that it's already out. I can see why it was in house, and Rodgers was quoted by Mike Tirico during the Kentucky Derby saying that he thought it was unfortunate that it came to this, and that his basically disputes or misunderstandings or misgivings or however you want to classify it, whatever his issues he's having with Green Bay, he said it was unfortunate that it became public knowledge. So that tells me right there is actually something very serious that is actually going on. And this isn't just a bunch of hearsay that was made up by by Adam Schefter, and that's another thing. Adam Schefter caught a lot of flack for basically it basically came out that he just decided to run this story on the draft day, and he doesn't have a definitive source for the information. And immediately people started coming at Adam Schefter's neck, saying he was that he made this whole thing up, and this is all his fault because he went on Dan Patrick's show, and basically Patrick asked him, "Yo, how did this story come about?" And he's like, "Look, all off season, basically since like this beginning of the second year, and really since LaFleur got hired, I've been hearing little stories here and there. And Adam Schefter is probably the most plugged in man in all of sports, bro, especially the NFL. So anything he says, I'm taking it for the gospel. Like, yeah, he's had some like eyebrow raising um, situations in the past. Someone said, he somehow obtained a medical record of some player, some high profile player, and he leaked it or whatever. And it's like, look, man, integrity or not, or you can maybe question his integrity, but the validity of what he's saying, I would not question, even if he doesn't have a source, which to me basically just means that he doesn't have someone who's willing to go on the record. And just because people aren't willing to go on the record publicly doesn't mean that everything that they tell you is true. It just means they don't want to go on the record because they don't want the flack. They don't want the fallout. They don't want to be the fall guy or girl or whatever the case may be. So I'm still very intrigued in the story, but it's also starting to get frustrating because it's like Rodgers, if he really wanted to squash all of this and kind of put it to bed or at least clear things up, he could just easily come out and say. And I don't know why he just can't come out and say, look, this is true, this is not true. Go on a Pat McAfee show. It would be the most watched show. Everybody would be watching it. Everybody would be talking about it. And it's like it'd be great for everything. And it's like just go in there and say, Pat, look, yeah, uh, I'm not the source for Shefty, but yeah, I did have talks with Green Bay, and I mean, after everything that happened, I mean, I'm at peace with it, and da 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 da. But there is a certain level of professionalism too that I feel like the Packers didn't, and I've talked to them about this, and I've told all this stuff I'm telling you is stuff I've told them. But whatever he feels like he has to do, he should do it. But all of this shit with Kuhn and James Jones and ex players coming out and speaking on his behalf, I think it's kind of a bitch move. And I feel like it's a very passive aggressive move. And Rodgers comes off to me as a very passive aggressive person who likes to find reasons to bitch and complain. And this gives him by not saying anything and just allowing the media to keep coming up with stories or half baked stories and half truths and da 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 anonymous sources. It allows him to keep his narrative that the media is this evil conglomerate that's out to get players. It allows him to keep perpetuating that narrative. When in fact, I'm sure there's a little bit of that going on, but for the most part, guys just trying to put the information out there. That's their fucking job. So the fact that Shefty put that information out there means that information to me was told to him. Look, the biggest issue though from all of this that could arise is apparently Devontae Adams is maybe having some second thoughts about signing with the Packers when he's a free agent in 2022 after this year. He went on to the Colin Cowherd show and he said, and Cowherd asked him, is this making you reconsider? And he said, like, yeah, it's giving me something to think about. I'm not saying for sure that I wouldn't come back to Green Bay if Rodgers isn't there, but it depends on what the situation's looking like. And if I'm Green Bay, I would be on the phone right now with Devontae Adams and I would be massaging this situation, and I'll be making sure that he understands that maybe we did handle things one way in the past, but moving forward, now we're going to handle things a certain way, starting with you. And we're going to have you involved in some of these situations and conversations or whatever the fuck he needs to hear to feel adequately at ease or appeased in the situation, and hopefully take a a deal that is equal to his value on the field, but isn't astronomical. And for that reason alone, a lot of people are saying that he could garner Devontae Adams. His extension could be for maybe 4 or 5 years, 100+ million. So I don't even know if the Packers are going to bring Devontae Adams back. I mean, maybe they might just roll forward with Jordan Love, Amari Rodgers, and Alan Lazard as their big, their three at the receiver and quarterback, and then they got AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. Like maybe that's all they need, and then maybe they could try to pick up another guy in free agency or another young receiver in 2022 for whatever they get with Rodgers, or maybe they'll get a young receiver in return, or with the freed up cap space, $16 million of freed up cap space, maybe they go out and they get a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. Who knows? Or Julio Jones. Who knows what could happen? But I just think Rodgers needs to come out and speak, or the organization needs to come out and just set the record straight. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Please, also, if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscription button and the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And yeah, let me know in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation, and do you think Rodgers is kind of being a little bitch right now, not speaking up and speaking out about the situation, and how would you like for him to be? How would you like for the situation to be handled, essentially? That's all the time for today's show. It's your boy Godchild, first of his name. Until the next time, go Pack, go, and remember, the Bears still suck.
Puda, you the GOAT, boy.